Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that our, you know what, issue is his problem, not mine? Hold on. This one. Am I the asshole for divorcing my wife and not wanting to give her half after she said I wasted her time? Am I the asshole for dyeing my hair against my husband's wishes? I don't know if I could read this on YouTube. Am I the asshole for, you know what you do with yourself when you just... Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Unique and I am here per request of my friend doing this YouTube video. Yeah, it's about to get good. Shout out to her because she might not want me to say her name, she might comment, but we'll see. I'm going to be doing Am I the Asshole Reddit readings. Some of these are crazy, some of these are insane, and yeah. That's all y'all need to know. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn your post notifications on so you know when I post, because I just post randomly. I don't have a set schedule. I do what I want to do. And that's on period. So yeah, y'all, let's get into it. As I go, I'm going to be taking screenshots and I'll put them on whichever side of the screen. And I might have to blur some of these words because I don't want to get censored. Yeah, so let's see. This first one is, am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend that our you know what issue is his problem, not mine? Like I said, I hope I don't get censored because some of these, like, I went through and I saved some and they were really good. So I'm like, I want to include them in the video. But anyways, I have been with my boyfriend for almost a year. Everything has been going overall, but we have been dealing with sexual issues that's starting to wear me down emotionally. Okay, let's see. He has a hard time, you know what, okay, and he says it's because I'm usually very, you know what, which reduces the sensation for him. He asked me to start doing Kegel. Kegel exercises, okay. So that my, you know what, can grip him better. He also told me that he developed what's known as the death grip from watching you know what and you know what in rough ways for years, which desensitized him. Okay. At first I felt guilty. I started wondering if my body just wasn't enough for him or if I wasn't doing something right. I even looked up Kegel exercises and considered trying them for his sake. But recently he brought it up again and told me to read posts on Reddit about how women can tighten up, or does Kegel really work for it? Let me finish first. When I told him I didn't think it would change much, he got upset and said I was being dismissive. He claimed it was something I should do for both of us. I told him the comment that I found on Reddit about it. He didn't like the responses he found online. He said it must be feminist to write stuff like writing that stuff. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. Which honestly rubbed me the wrong way. I got frustrated and told him this isn't my problem. You've said it yourself. You have death grip from years of watching you know what. So why are you putting it on me like I'm the issue? Maybe you're the one who needs to do the work. He hung up the phone after that. We haven't talked since. Now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for saying that? Was I too harsh for asking a breakup towards this? Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna say, you are not the asshole. He is being a complete asshole. I'm sorry. Telling your woman to do Kegel exercises and so you could tighten up, that's very, very disrespectful. No, you need to leave him and get somebody better for you, because that is actually insane. That is insane. Like, y'all, ain't no way. Ooh, this one's a good one. It says, am I the asshole for not attending my friend's child-free wedding even though she offered a solution? Ooh, My friend is getting married next weekend and is having a child-free wedding, which I completely respect and have no issue with. I'm a single mom to a medically complex 9-month-old who has, I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, yeah. His care is specific and intensive, so it's not a case of finding a babysitter on short notice. He needs someone trained to handle emergencies, suctioning, and feeding. Okay. I RSVP'd to the wedding from the start because I don't have anyone in my city that I can leave with him. My mom, who sometimes helps, lives in a different city. I also don't have a big support system, okay? After I said no, she asked me to be a bridesmaid because some of her other bridesmaids had dropped out, which felt a little odd given that I already explained I wouldn't be able to attend. I politely declined again. Then she asked if I could bring someone with me to watch my son in a hotel room while I attend the wedding. Oh. I told her I can't afford to pay someone for an overnight stay plus medical care, assuming I could even find someone qualified. Right, correct. Her latest suggestion was that I leave my son with the woman who will be watching her son in another room during the wedding. Then she said I could alternate and go to the room myself to check on him, basically meaning I'd spend the evening bouncing between a wedding I'm not truly at and caring for my medically fragile baby. At this point, I told her again that I'm really sorry, but I just can't come. She's now very upset and says I'm making excuses and that she's trying to help and she really wants me to be at the wedding because I'm like an older sister to her. But I feel like I've been kind and honest from the beginning, but now I'm wondering, am I the asshole for still saying no? As someone who taught differently abled children for 2 years, I can get where she's coming from or wanting to leave your child with someone who's qualified because it's scary, you know, because you can never know what could happen. So I don't think she's an asshole. I think her friend is just not understanding her situation with her medically complex child. Yeah, and then you found out in a short amount of notice, a short amount of time as well. I don't think you're an asshole. I think it is very important to carefully plan who you leave your children with because you can't just leave your children with anybody. So I don't think you're an asshole. I don't think you're being a bad friend, actually. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Oh my gosh, we got some work drama. Am I the asshole for calling my coworker a fucking bitch? Just from the title, I mean, like, oh my gosh, when having to work with people. Anyways, let's read. So some backstory. I am a 22-year-old female who has a coworker in their 40s. Okay, who's a female? I work cashier and this coworker, no one really likes her and not even my higher ups. My coworker has a history of talking about me and others behind our backs, and we hear what she is saying, and there has been a few times she gets costumes involved with making fun of me. Like, oh my goodness, telling customers that I have multiple different personalities when I don't use different voices with different moods that I am in. What the heck is wrong with her? Anyways, back to now, I have recently worked with her and I was taking care of some stuff that I needed to be taken care of from behind her, and she snapped at me rudely and said, "Don't go behind me." Oh, and I said, "Okay, I'm sorry. Are we good?" And she said, "Yes." She said, "Yeah, stop saying sorry all the time, too." I already know what I'm gonna say about this. So I went back to my spot where I was supposed to be working and asked one of my other coworkers if she snapped at them the way she did at me. The other coworker said yes, so I walked up to her and said, "I just want to make sure we are good." She said, snapping at me, "Yeah, so stop asking me. We don't need to make it a 55-yard line." So I left it to be me and the other coworker were talking about other stuff, and then the coworker went to the break room and came back very snappy and rude, saying, "You know I'm older than you, and you are not being sneaky about it." I said, What are you talking about?" She said, "You both are talking about me, and if you want to keep it up, I will leave and go home. You could just be stuck here." And I snapped and yelled at her, "You should be the one to effing be..." Okay, I'm not gonna read all that. I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna skip to end. Or I'll skip to time. Time, you effing bitch. And then we separated from each other, and she came up to me and apologized, and I gave her a fake apology. And then my boss told me to go ahead and go back to work, and told my boss, "Why would I want to work with someone who is self-centered?" Ooh, this is a good one. First of all, you are not the asshole. And I don't like how she's saying because you're 22 and she's 40 that she knows more and all this shit. I'm sorry. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're wiser. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're always in the right. It does not mean that. And the way she's talking to you and your other coworkers disrespectfully, yeah, no, that yo, I would have already probably snapped off at this woman. But anyways, yeah, no, you are not the asshole, and you have the right to call her a fucking bitch because that's what she is. Crazy because there's like a comment here, and it says that both of them are acting like children, but like, I don't think that the 22-year-old is acting like a child. I don't think that she is, because imagine if you're working, you're doing your job, and you just have this angry ass coworker. Like, I mean, like, you know what I mean? That's like, why, like, you don't want a bad vibe at your job. So like, I don't think she's being an asshole about this. I really don't, but y'all tell me what y'all think. I could be completely wrong. You tell me what you think in the comments. Okay, y'all, I got another good one. This one says, "Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend?" And she corrected it down below, you'll see. Because he is against abortions. This is going to get deep. And then apparently she keeps getting death threats from the edit that we see up here at the top. But we're gonna go ahead and scroll down and start reading the context of this. So we were watching a segment about Dr. Caitlin Bernard, the doctor who helped a 10-year-old grape victim get an abortion. "My boyfriend said he thought abortion should be completely illegal, even in cases like that." Okay. "He made it clear he supported that extreme mindset, that Kirk guy level." I don't think I know who this is. "I asked him if he thinks embryos are the same as a child, and he said yes. I am a STEM major, so that irked me, as well as knowing he's a pre-med, and it made me feel disgusted. I was shocked. I told him I couldn't be with someone who held views like that and left him right then and there. So some mutual friends think I overreacted and said I was being too harsh and that we could have just agreed to disagree. But I don't think that's something you can compromise on. Am I the asshole? Context, we were from Canada. Okay. My opinion on this. A 10-year-old victim. 10-year-olds should not be having children. Can we just say that? A 10-year-old victim should not be forced to have a child. That is a child herself. She's a child. That is, a 10-year-old is a child. Why are we forcing a child to have a child when they cannot financially take care of that child? You see where I'm coming from? So no, I don't think you're an asshole. And I don't think that this is something we can agree to disagree on, because what if you are in a situation where you need that health care, you need an abortion to survive, because of medical issues and stuff. what if you need to get an abortion and then your boyfriend is like, oh, well, I don't agree with you getting an abortion, this, and it's a whole conflict then and there. I am glad that you left someone that you don't agree with their values, because it can clash. In certain cases, it can clash if you do not agree with something like this. In this case, definitely. I do not think you're an asshole. I do not think you're an asshole. And yeah, because this is something that can be very, very serious. I'm not going to get all in depth into that because that is a whole nother topic, whole nother conversation for another video, another day. But yeah, I do not think you're an asshole. I think I'm gonna do a couple more of these. I actually like enjoy reading these. So yeah, this one, the next one is a good one. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit again after my sis didn't pick her kids up on time? Okay, let's read this. At the beginning of this week, I, 18 female, babysat my sister, 26, 2 kids, 2 and a newborn. Ooh, oh gosh. Sorry, y'all. It was their ages. Like, oh gosh, they're so young. She's a single mother, and I went out to meet with friends to have lunch. I hope I read that right. She promised me to be back after a few hours. I didn't want to babysit since it would cost me precious exam prep time, and I was anxious because of the newborn and my zero experience, but she begged me and cried so much, so I did it. Okay. She didn't show up until yesterday in the evening, and I wasn't able to reach her during the 4 days, and called even hospitals if they found a female body or what, because I seriously thought something major happened. Oh my goodness. Turns out she was partying and lost track of time. Oh gosh. And I should just stay calm and don't cause so much drama because everything is good and nothing bad happened to the kids. She didn't see the fact that I was shaking and had panic attacks. After she told me to shut the F up because she tried to sleep, I just packed my stuff and now I'm in the train going to my place. When I left, she called me and said, how dare I leave because I promised to take care of her 2-year-old when she goes to the hospital for the appointment on Saturday morning with the newborn. And that I promised that before she partied, so no matter what, I had to keep my word. I feel a little guilty, but also I'm afraid she will continue like that, and I felt I need to protect myself. My mom and her think I'm the asshole. Oh my gosh. My mom partly understands, but said I should have been patient one more day until after the appointment. First of all, no one has to babysit your children. No one has to watch your children. Your children are your responsibility. Once you decide to lay down and have babies, or once you do what you do and you have children come out of it, they are your responsibility. Yeah, you're a single mom and the other parent is not, and I'm assuming they're not in the kid's life since you didn't mention them, or since they're not, we don't know the backstory. But anyways, to me, you're not the asshole. Your sister took advantage of you, because like you said, and I get it. I don't know if you're in high school still or college. I'm assuming college, but you could have used your time to study, and I get that 100,000,000,000%. Like, this is crazy, absolutely insane to leave your kids with your sister for days knowing that they were not supposed to stay with her that long. You were supposed to, come back and get your kids. No, absolutely unacceptable. Personally, me, I wouldn't, how the newborn has an appointment, I personally wouldn't even watch her 2-year-old, because then, like you said, what if she does it again? What if she just leaves her kids? And like I said, that this is, to me, a person who should not have had kids this early, a person who should not have kids right now in general, because if you're just leaving your kids, to me, that just speaks volume of you know, how you feel about your children, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't have kids myself, but I personally understand, you know, parents need breaks. You need breaks from your children. I get that. But to leave your kids with your sister for that period of time, knowing you were supposed to come back and get your kids, is wrong. 100% wrong. Oh my goodness, y'all. Am I doing great? Am I doing great with this? I feel like I'm not, but yeah. Okay, whoa. I want to read this one. But I don't think I can read this one because it's very so I will decide if I'm gonna read that one. We're gonna move on to a different one until I decide if I'm gonna read that one. Ooh, this one's a good one, y'all. Okay, this one's kind of a long one, so I'm kind of gonna have to cut it down a little bit. I'm probably just gonna read everything before the ETA, and then we'll go from there, and then I'll see if I'm gonna read the rest. But this one says, am I the asshole for dyeing my hair against my husband's wishes? Okay, ask someone. Girl, this isn't about you. This is about the reading. All right, let's get to it. My husband, 32 male, and I, 29 female, have been together for 5 years. Oh, we first got together during COVID, at which point I dyed my whole head purple to make lockdown more tolerable. I let it fade out naturally and haven't really colored my hair since. 2 years ago, I got 2 years ago, I got pink semi-permanent peekaboo highlights at the beginning of summer, and it faded within a month. Yesterday, I was going to get my hair colored again, and I told my husband what my plans were. Blonde highlights with a dark purple underneath. Ooh, that's cool. He told me to do whatever would make me happy and help me recover from seasonal depression. I did exactly that. It took me almost 3 hours, and I was smiling ear to ear when it was done. It was exactly what I had pictured in my mind. When I got home, I asked if he liked it, and he smiled and said he really did. I said, "Are you sure? Because I know you don't usually like blonde or unnatural colors." And he said, "No, it looks really good." An hour later, I got out of the shower, and he noticed the purple underneath and immediately dampened his mood. He said he doesn't like it. He liked it when he thought it was just blonde highlights. He thinks unnatural colors are unattractive and it quickly fades, making a waste of money. I spend my money how I want to. I reminded him that he told me to do whatever makes me happy, and I thought it was pretty obvious from my excitement when I got home that I was really happy with it. He said he had hoped I would take his feelings into consideration, knowing how he felt about the colored hair. And that's why he had tried to steer me towards more natural colors, for example, blonde. I obviously can't undye my hair, not that I would, but how do I address this with him? Am I the asshole for not considering his feelings before dyeing my hair purple? Ooh, okay. This one, I mean, it's just colored hair. I mean, I know some people like aren't attracted to certain things, but like, I feel like, I mean, I just don't see why this would be like a big issue. You know what I mean? Because it's just colored hair. But I guess, you know, they're married and, you know, attraction is probably deeper and stuff. But I don't think she's an asshole for this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that she's an asshole, because personally, me, you're allowed to do whatever you want to do. Like, if you want to dye your hair, if you want to go get a piercing, you want to go get a tattoo, I can't stop you from doing that. You are grown. You're an adult. You're allowed to make those decisions. So who am I to say, you know, like, you can't get a tattoo, or like you can't dye your hair a certain color? Like, what? Now scrolling down, I think I will have to read this part because this is like, I guess, like an update. So let's go ahead and read the update. It says, after taking your comments into consideration, I told him that I didn't need him to like the purple because I know it's not his favorite, but I did hope or expect him to be happy for me, that I was happy with it. He said it reminded him of a rough patch we went through earlier in our relationship, on top of being unflattering, and he can't believe I spent so much of our hard-earned money on something that doesn't look good. I can't change his mind, but he's going to learn to live with it for now, since this is something I really only like to have during the summer months. I'm still happy with my decision, but we'll make sure we have more collaborative conversation next summer when the same urges come up. Again, to me, like, really, it's just hair. Like, to me, like I said, I don't see the problem with this. Unflattering, like I said, you were grown and you can dye your hair and do what you want. Well, you should be able to do what you want. Like I said, unflattering, like I said, you're grown and you can do what you want. So, I mean, like, to me, that would just be like a suck it up type of thing, but you know, like, I'm really kind of appalled by this one. I can see maybe like, oh, it reminds me of a rough patch. I mean, maybe you could see that, but the unflattering, like, to me, that's just like, you should be this is your wife. I wouldn't care. Like, froze for a second, but like, I would not care how my partner would have their hair dyed. Like, to me, like I just would not care how my partner had their hair dyed. Like, it is what it is. You can do what you want to do. So I don't know how to speak on this, but yeah, y'all, that's how I feel about that. I don't think she's an asshole. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, I think I'm gonna do 2 more. Maybe. This one's short, so we might do 2 more. But this one says, am I the asshole for getting upset with my girlfriend? Let's see. So my girlfriend and I created boundaries when we started dating around December. Some of those included letting each other know when someone DMs us. Let me finish before I judge. Ever since then, I respected her boundaries and always showed her when a girl DMs me and never respond to them. Today I learned that during our relationship, she has been getting messages and never telling me about them, and she has also been liking and accepting the compliments that guys would give her. Okay, am I wrong for feeling betrayed, especially since I have always been open and honest with her about someone messaging me? Am I wrong for getting upset? So I'm okay, I gotta think of the guy's POV. I mean, okay, y'all created this boundary, y'all set this boundary, y'all agreed on this boundary. So if the boundary's being crossed, I mean, yes, I could see why he's upset. And then taking compliments from other men, yeah, I don't think she should be doing that because, you know, y'all are dating or whatever. But I'm trying to read it as I'm like, did I learn in a relationship, she began messages and never telling me about them, and then not telling you things that I mean, it could mean that she's hiding something. She could be hiding something, you know, if she's not telling you about it. So I mean, I don't think he's an asshole for being upset, because I mean, I can't really say he's being an asshole because they set this boundary and they agreed on it. And when you set something and you agree upon it, you know, hey, you need to communicate that. That's why communication is so important in a relationship and dating and all that. You have to communicate because, you know, things like this. Because maybe the girlfriend, all of a sudden, she didn't like, you know, this boundary or whatever. She should have communicated that with you. But yeah, I don't think he's an asshole, honestly, because like I said, you gotta communicate, you gotta conversate. And like I said, she could be hiding something from him, and that's why she's not telling him, you know, hey, I got a message from so and so. So yeah, this is going to be the last one, and it is, am I the asshole for not making my 9-year-old daughter hug or kiss anyone when she doesn't want to? Okay. I, 34 female, live with my parents in their 50s, and my daughter is 9. I know it sounds bad, but as a single mom with no help from the other parent, I am not in a great place financially to live in my own home, which is understandable. And you have good parents, so yeah. Well, let me not say that yet. I have taught my daughter about consent and other things of the sort since she was old enough to understand. Good parenting. And from then, I have told her she does not have to kiss, hug, or anything if she does not want to. And I stand by that, okay, period. I mean, she even tells me she doesn't want to hug me sometimes, and I'm cool with it. My mom, on the other hand, it's a different story, okay? She thinks because she is my 9-year-old's grandma, I should make my child give her a hug or a kiss. When I tell her I'm not doing that, she gets mad. She gets so mad and it's unreal. My mom said it shouldn't be a big deal for her to give me a hug or just a tiny peck, knowing it would make me feel better. I told her that her happiness does not and cannot rely on my daughter, so doing something she doesn't want to do. I know I'm rambling, okay. Any advice would be helpful, or just a way I can explain it to my mother without having the holy war in my house. Okay. Teaching your children consent, teaching your children boundaries is a good thing. And I'm glad that this parent is doing that. I personally agree with her. If your daughter doesn't want to hug or kiss anybody, they don't have to. I think your mother needs to understand that more. I don't, like, you know, yeah, you're the grandma. Yeah, you can see that this is disrespectful. But I just don't think it is. Or like a big deal. It really isn't. It's a 9-year-old child, you know? Yeah, you're not the asshole for this. And I hope that your mom can understand in this way. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. And that is it for the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel because yeah, you're not gonna want to miss any videos. I might make more of those because yeah, they're fun, very fun. And also I could do them in like categories, like different categories, like splitting them up, like maybe wedding or marriage or like kids, and then, you know, other different things. So yeah, if y'all would want that, let me know. But anyways, I'm going to go, y'all. Peace out. Bye. To the city lights. Whoa, to the city lights.